Hi everyone, it's Paula, ready to do video number 3, pricking on your chilli seeds. So pricking on is when we move the seeds from the original pot that we put all our seeds in, and you'd have put 5 in and hopefully all of them have come up, but if they haven't, don't worry, chillies can be quite hard to germinate. They can be slightly fussy about how much heat and sun they get. So what I'm going to do is show you how to prick out so that each seedling now has its own individual pot, and I'm going to pop them onto the same size pot, but there'll be one in each. So first thing to do is that I've given these seedlings that I'm going to prick out some water already. I did that this morning, and it's now kind of midday, so that the soil is quite moist, but not like really wet. And that water will just help the seedlings to kind of cope with the stress of being moved about. So what you need is, the other pots you're going to put onto some compost, just an ordinary multi-purpose compost that you can buy from your local shop in a small bag is perfectly good. If you're able to get peat-free, that's even better. It's good to protect our peat bogs and avoid using peat-free when possible, but it's not always possible. Also, I've got 5 of these, which I'm going to fill up with a little bit of water after I transplant the seedlings. I've also got some spare labels. I'm going to write the name of the chilli on it. Mine are Orange Wonder, so I'll just write that and 4 more labels. I've also got something to help get the seedlings out. I tend to use my fingers, or if the seedlings are quite close together, I use a coffee stick from one of the coffee shops, of which there are many, and I'm a bit addicted to buying coffee. So to start with, having given your plants some water a few hours beforehand, get your pots, fill them up with compost, your multi-purpose compost, and you'll see there's kind of a bit of a line about 1 centimetre from the top, and I'm going to fill my compost up to there. I've already half filled this, so I'm now going to finish filling it up. And sometimes there are lumps in this multi-purpose compost, so I just kind of give it a bit of a crumble with my fingers. And if there's any large bits that are hard, sometimes you get kind of woody bits in bags of compost, then just take those out completely. They might just get in the way of the roots of the seedlings. And now that my pot is filled up to, I'm just below that line that I talked about, I'm going to make the hole for my chilli seedling that I'm going to plant in here now. So I'm going to use my finger, and what I normally do is kind of make a hole up to like that second joint on your finger, and that tends to be deep enough. I'm going to do that, wiggle it around a little bit, so there's plenty of room. I tend to make my holes kind of a lot wider than the seedling's going to be, because you can, once it's in there comfortably, you can just fill it in. Then I'm going to get my seedlings. I've only got 2 in here. Only 2 out of 5 have come out of this pot. So what I'm going to do is kind of show this on camera as much as I can. I'm going to use my stick, and I'm just going to put it down quite far, much further than I think the roots are, and gently push it up. And when it feels it's quite free, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick it up by the leaves, never touch the stem. And as I believe Robert demonstrated when we were talking about this on Zoom yesterday, even if there's a lot of soil on there, those leaves are quite strong and the stem's quite strong. You're not going to it's not going to do anything and have any ill effects on the seed by picking it up by the shoots. If you've got a lot of soil and it is quite heavy, you can just kind of rest it in your hand as well. Got my seedling. I'm now going to place it into the hole and holding it like this. I've got about 2 centimetres of the plant showing, but my plant is quite small. So really what you want to do is kind of have you want it about a little bit deeper than it was in its other pot. And then just gently use your finger to press this all down. I'm doing this on the table, hopefully you can see. Just pressing it, holding it by the leaf, pressing it gently around until it feels pretty firm. It might take you a moment or so to do that. And then kind of just gently, with both fingers, press around the seedling until it feels quite firm. And what I do at this stage is very gently give it a tug. If it feels like it's secure in there, perfect. And then what I'm going to do next is just write my label. So it's Orange Wonder. No need for the date. We put the date on our seedling, on our seeds when we first put them in to germinate, so that we could just keep an eye on it. You know, if it gets to 12 weeks and there's no sign, then probably nothing's going to happen. But because these have already germinated, we don't need the date. We just put the label in. And then with this one, I'm going to just stick it in that foil container. It's got a little bit of water in because the compost I've just added is dry. And that's it. It's going to sit back on my sunny windowsill. And hopefully it's going to do really well. So I'm just going to add a little bit of extra information. If your seedlings have got really tall and straggly, at this stage what you can do is, when you pop them on, is pop them on a little bit deeper than I've said. What you can do is pop them down to just about 1 centimetre or even less above the bottom leaves. This will allow the plant some support and it will bulk up. You wouldn't generally do this when you're with plants because it's bad for the stem, but in this case it's what you want to do. So if you feel that your seedlings have got really, really tall but only have a couple of leaves on and are looking quite weak, plant them, when you prick them on, plant them deeper than you would if they're looking healthy. Hopefully that covers everything. Yeah, and thanks for listening. Bye.